Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. My name is Ronnie Rios, and I am your host for today's webinar on how to deploy your custom app. Hopefully, in the next few minutes, we'll learn a lot about the FileMaker platform, all the different components of the FileMaker platform, and what to do after you've created your first custom app, right? Want to know there are several considerations about how to successfully deploy your custom app to the rest of your team and make sure that everybody has access to the data that they need whenever they need it. Now, I like to start with a story, and this is one that we hear very often from customers, not like people who are here today, getting started, right, creating their own first custom app. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to play the role of owner and manager of a small but growing commercial landscaping company. And we're going to say that in our little organization, we are currently using spreadsheets, a lot of spreadsheets, to view and edit our customer information. And this is a great way for us to get started. It's very quick and it's very easy, but the problem is that once it gets updated, it's really hard for us to keep track of which is the most current version of that. Right. If I take this the spreadsheet and I send it over to Kathy, and Kathy adds a new customer to the list, now we've got two versions of that spreadsheet. So it's really hard for us to really maintain that spreadsheet, make sure that we have and we know which one is the most current version of that. We have yet another spreadsheet that contains all of the work that was done for our customers. And again, it's very quick for us to get started, very easy for us to quickly get stuff entered there, but it also has a lot of challenges. For example, if we want to figure out new opportunities for a particular customer, it's really time-consuming and difficult for us to get that information out of that. We also have photos of the beautiful work that we've done, and we work by contract. So we got digital copies of all those contracts. Now, our team currently works visiting customers face-to-face. So we send out our sales force, they talk to customers, they're out there in the field, and the information that we need right now, you can see it's in different formats and it runs in different applications, and it's making it really hard for us to find the information when we need it. And this manual process that we have, it's really causing us to lose new business opportunities, and it's also very time-consuming. So I imagine bringing all this information together and having a much better control so we can better grow our business. So with that in mind, and as a great manager, I kicked out solutions, and let's say that I attended a webinar, not unlike this one, to learn how I can bring all this information together in a custom app that aligns with our particular business needs. And I could also share that between a team of mobile employees that are out there in the field, but also the staff that's here in the office. So armed with that knowledge, I built my first custom app. So let me show you what I built. I have this little app over here. It's on my desktop, and I'm going to double click on it, and this is the app that I built with the knowledge that I learned in a FileMaker webinar. And as you can see, it does a lot of wonderful things. I mean, already it helps me manage the customer information. We've got contracts. I've got images of the work that we've done, keep track of all the work orders, and it shows me the ones here on the right shows me only the work orders that are associated with the customer that I'm viewing here on the left. I got reports and got charts, and it's really nice. But so far, this information is really here on my computer. So I'm learning how to get this out, and it needs to be working on mobile devices, on iPads. So there's a quick way for me to share this and test it out with small groups of people, including on iPads. So there's a built-in sharing option in FileMaker Pro that allows me to share directly from my desktop computer onto a small group of people, to a small team. I'm going to show you what this looks like on an iPad. So I've got my iPad over here. I'm going to just show my iPad screen up here. And I've already downloaded FileMaker Go, which is our native iOS app that you can download freely from the iTunes App Store. So I've already downloaded that here. I'm going to launch FileMaker Go. And I'm going to tap here where it says Host. I'm going to look for my computer on the network. There it is. This is the app that I've already created. And then we'll go ahead and open that up over here. And it's very easy and very quickly as that, I have access to the same information that I have on my computer. The exact same information. And it's wonderful. I can do a lot of really great things from here. So as you can see, this screen has been designed specifically for an iPad, so it looks very, very at ease here in this format, in this operating system. And I can do a lot of really great things. This over here I have on my iPad is not a copy of the information I have on my desktop. It's actually a direct link. It's live information. As a matter of fact, you can go here on the iPad, type in here, and I can change, say, Doris's last name. Let's say her last name should be really Smith. As soon as I make the change here on the iPad, you'll notice that here on my computer, that information automatically changes there, just instantly. And this is all stuff built into this FileMaker platform. And because I'm sharing directly from my computer, this technology is what we call peer-to-peer sharing. And it's wonderful for this type of scenario where I'm testing the connection and making sure that everything is working okay, make sure that the app is exactly what we need it. Now, the problem with peer-to-peer, which is as wonderful it is and quick and easy, it does have a lot of limitations. The first limitation that it has is that this is on my computer. So my computer has to be on, FileMaker Pro has to be running, and this file has to be open, which means that if on Friday I want to leave a little bit early because I'm the boss, if I try to leave and close this file, it'll tell me that there are other people connected to it, and they have to close the file too. That means I have to disconnect everybody on my team in order for me to go home. It's probably not what I want to. The other thing is that this file currently lives, as you can see over here, lives here on my computer. That means all of the data resides here on my computer. So I am responsible for the safety of the data there. Backups and all that fun stuff, I am fully responsible for it. So I have to do that manually and make sure that everything is running okay. And if anything ever happened to my computer, we'd be losing a lot of data. So what we've learned so far is that, right now I'm learning I can build and I can run my solutions, my custom apps from my desktop using FileMaker Pro or FileMaker Pro Advanced. Now, as we saw here that it does have limitations. It limits the amount of people I can have connected at any given time, and it solely relies on my computer being available. We need a much more reliable and high-performance access to our data. We need a better solution. The great thing is the FileMaker platform offers not one, but two options for us to share our custom apps, FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Let's talk a little bit about both of these options. First, FileMaker Server. FileMaker Server is actually software. It gets installed, it's actually software for managing and sharing all of our custom apps that can then be accessed from desktop computers like Mac and Windows using FileMaker Pro. They can also be accessed from mobile devices like iPhones and iPads using FileMaker Go, as we saw earlier. And I can even access these custom apps from a web browser using the FileMaker WebDirect technology. And this software gets installed on the computer of my choosing. This computer we would normally refer to as a server. Don't worry, that's just a name that we give to any computer that's dedicated to providing services. And this server is usually on-premise, right, in our organization, in a secure central location. And the truth is, it can actually be anywhere in the world. I choose the computer, I can choose, and I can choose where it's located. What about FileMaker Cloud? Well, FileMaker Cloud, just like the on-premise server, FileMaker Cloud allows you to very quickly and very easily share information with teams. FileMaker Cloud is also software that runs on a computer. However, this computer is a virtual computer, also known as an instance, that runs on the Amazon Web Services Cloud, or AWS, and is offered through the AWS Marketplace. Now, with FileMaker Cloud, we also get secure, reliable access to our custom apps, but this time in the cloud. So, FileMaker Cloud is completely architected and designed from the ground up to take advantage of this type of environment. So, FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud are both of our options. Now, they're very similar. They offer a lot of the same benefits, and it's because they have a lot of the same components. Let's talk really quickly about the different components that make up FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud have what we call the administrative console. And the console is a web application that allows us to configure and manage our instance or server. Both also have a database server, and this is a component that actually shares our custom app and also stores all the information, all the data that's in our custom app. They also both have what's called a web publishing engine. And for us to access the data from a web browser, this web publishing engine talks to the database server and converts that information into a language that a web browser can understand. And finally, there's a web server, and this web server kind of does the last mile delivery from the web publishing engine onto the web browser that the client is using to access the data. So we have both great options to deploy our solutions, but we still haven't talked really. Why would you need FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud? Well, there are a lot of options. There's a lot of reasons for it. Number one, we probably want to be able to remotely monitor and administrate all of our databases and our custom apps. So FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud allows us and gives us all the tools required to do that. We probably also want to make sure that all of our data is securely stored, but also transmitted over the wire, especially if we're accessing over the internet. We also want to make sure that our data is appropriately backed up. So having backups done, automated, and on schedule. Also have to worry about scalability. We want to make sure that any solution that we put in place can grow the same way our organization grows without any fear. And in a world where everybody has different types of devices, we want to make sure that we can access from multiple devices and platforms and not have to worry about all of the different platforms that are out there. Let's quickly see how FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud can help us tackle these different needs. First, let's talk about administration. And in our little example here, we had, I built already a small custom app that's already helping me manage all of our customers and all the work that we've done and all that fun stuff. And we saw that it was living on my computer and it was one window there. Now, so far it's working fine for me, but I know down the road I'm going to want to create more custom apps. There's a lot more needs that I have in my organization, maybe to handle employees, maybe to handle inventory and other such things. So it's going to get to a point where I have multiple apps and make it harder for me to manage all those just on my computer. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud allow me to simplify this entire task by using the administrator console. Like I said earlier, the admin console is a web application that makes it very easy for us to keep track of all of our custom apps. It can also provide us service statistics and new logins. You can see and keep track of the health of our server or instance. And it's all done with a really nice and very easy to use interface. As a matter of fact, I'd like to show you what they look like in both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. I'm going to hide this here really quickly. And like I said, the admin console is a web application. So bring up here my browser and log in here to the admin console. So this is what the admin console in FileMaker Server looks like. As soon as I log in, I got information about my server. Give me information very quickly here about the health, the different components, which ones are running, and if they're running okay. I can see over here which files I have here stored and which ones are being hosted. And for any one of these, I can open and close any of them. I can pause their operation. I can send messages to anybody who's connected to that particular custom app. And if I don't need it, I can actually remove it from here as well. I can also look at statistics and see how our server is running. We can choose what things we want to see and can get a full graphical representation of the health of our server, see how it's running. Oh, it looks like there's a lot of activity going on here. Let's zoom in. So we can see all the things that were going on here and we can choose which statistics we want to visualize. There's also a built-in log viewer. This gives me a ledger of all the events that have been happening on my server. And I can even choose, let's say, who's been accessing our invoice solution today. And we can see who's logged in, when, and how they logged in as well. So we can keep track of every single event that's been happening to our server. So this is a quick view here to the admin console in FileMaker Server. What about FileMaker Cloud? So this is the admin console in FileMaker Cloud. And it looks slightly different, but it provides all the same information, just in a different view. So you can see, again, as soon as I log in, I got a lot of information about my instance or my server. I got a quick overview here of statistics. See CPU, memory, and network. Over here, I can see how much storage we've been using so far. Over here in the Databases tab, I can see all the files that we have currently hosted. And anything about configuration can be handled over here, along here with subscription. So you can see, very nice, very easy to use, allows us to very quickly administrate all of our entire database and all of our custom apps. So as you can see, both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud provide us with all the tools necessary to administrate all of our custom apps that we have there and keep track of the health of our server. What about security? Security is very important. We want to make sure that security of our information is being safeguarded. And both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud have a ton of security features built in to make sure that your data is secure. Not just the way it's being stored, but also how it's being transmitted over the wire, especially if you're accessing from over the internet. Both provide encryption at rest to make sure that your databases are fully encrypted and secure, provide SSL encryption for over-the-wire security. This is the same technology that the bank portals use when you connect using your web browser. Visual indicators and proactive security warnings are all built into the FileMaker platform. What about backups? You know, I have to ask myself, as a manager and owner of a small company, how much of my data am I willing to lose? How much is my data worth? You got to make sure that whatever option we choose is keeping track and making sure that all of our information is securely backed up. I want to make sure that the data is being automatically backed up, on schedule, and I can keep multiple copies of that. So both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud provide me all the tools necessary to do that. Slightly different ways, but they both do an amazing job. As a matter of fact, I'd like to show you how quick and easy it is to set up backups in both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. First, let's look at FileMaker Server. I'm going to click over here into the Schedule section on the left, and I can see here a list of 3 schedules. FileMaker Server can schedule a lot of great things, and backups is just one of those activities. As you can see, I already got 3 backup schedules. By default, when we install FileMaker Server, it will automatically set up 3 backup schedules, a daily, an hourly, and a weekly. And the daily is already enabled for me. So even if I forget to set up any backups, I got you covered with at least a daily one. Let's say I want to keep track of, if I want to set up backups on a monthly basis on top of the daily one I already have. So very quickly, I can go over here with a little menu, create a brand new schedule. We start out here on an automated system to help us create this new backup schedule. So you can see the schedule system allows you to do several different things, not just backups. Today, we're just going to set up here for backup. The next step, I can choose which files do I want to include in this backup schedule. I can choose very specific ones, maybe the ones that I have in a folder or just a particular one. But today I'm going to just choose all of them, just to make sure it backs up everything that I have on my server. And now I can choose where I want these copies to live. It can be anywhere I want. It can be on a separate storage device. It can be on the same server. It doesn't really matter, but I can choose. I have full control over where these backup copies are going to live. Then I can choose how many backups do I want to keep for this particular schedule. I'm just going to run on a monthly basis, so I think it makes sense for us to keep 12 copies. It gives us a full running year of backups for this particular schedule. Down here, I can specify whether or not I want to perform a integrity check, or if I want to create also a clone of the backup file. The integrity check just checks the health of the file while it's doing the backup, and a clone is a copy of the file with no data in it. There's very good reasons to do both of those, but just for today, we'll just leave those off. The next step, now I can choose the frequency. So over here, I got several options. For today, we're just going to choose here every n amount of days. And let's start date and just choose here this date. And now I can choose at what time I want the schedule to run. I kind of want it to run whenever there's nobody here. So I'm just going to choose here 11:30 at night. I'm pretty sure there's nobody here in the office. And then I want to choose here what the interval is going to be and how many days is this going to run. So I'm just going to, because it's going to be a monthly, let's just choose 30 days. That's roughly every month. That works for me. The next step, we can choose a name for our schedule, and I'm just going to name it very simply monthly. And over here, then I can choose whether I want to receive email notifications. Now, this is wonderful because FileMaker Server can send me emails, let me know that everything is going okay, or something really bad just happened. Very good. This is a summary of all the options we chose. Click here on Finish. That's it. As easy as that, we set up a monthly backup that will run every 30 days, and it'll start today at 11:30, and it will back up all of our files. Just as easy as that, we just set up a backup schedule. What about FileMaker Server, FileMaker Cloud? Well, FileMaker Cloud is really designed to minimize the hassle of administration. So backups in FileMaker Cloud are even easier. Matter of fact, there's no configuration. FileMaker Cloud automatically backs up all of your files every 20 minutes. And it does it in a fraction of a second. It uses a technology that's built in the cloud that allows you to view an entire copy of your instance in just a fraction of a second. And it does so every 20 minutes. And it keeps a rolling list of all of your backups for the last 7 days. So over 500 different backups already there for you. And after 7 days, the last one, the oldest one, will get replaced with the newest one coming in. And if I want to keep any one of these backups here for longer periods of time, indefinitely really, and just click on any one of them, click on the Preserve Backup, and I will have a copy of this backup for as long as I want. And then if I want to return any one of these backups, all I have to do is click here on the Preserve Backup and bring this backup back online. I can choose any backup that I want to restore. Very, very easy. It does not get easier than that. We don't even have to worry about backup. FileMaker Cloud takes care of the whole process for us. Very well. So we saw very quickly how both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud makes it very easy for us to automate and schedule and keep track of all of our backups and make sure that all of our information is being safeguarded. So what about scale? I do have to ask myself again, as a manager and owner, how will my business be impacted if my solutions can't grow with us? Well, both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud allow me to host up to 125 solution files. I can have all of these custom apps running all at the same time. I can have hundreds of users connected, all of them simultaneously from their desktop, mobile devices, and even from web browsers. No matter what device they're using, they'll be able to access the information. It doesn't really matter where they are either. Now, nowadays, we also going to confront this challenge of supporting multiple devices and different platforms. Everybody wants to run on their own computer, on their own mobile devices as well. So both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud allow me to very easily, very quickly deploy our custom apps and make sure that it runs on all devices. They can run on iPhones, iPads, they can use Mac, Windows computers, or even modern web browsers. And I can be assured that all updates that I'm going to be doing are very easily done, and I can deploy them across all these different devices and platforms, including web browsers. I can have fully interactive web applications with no web programming whatsoever using the FileMaker WebDirect technology. And I really want to show you a quick demonstration of that, and I'll do that in a few minutes. But first, I want to get back to our little story. So far, I've got my custom app over here, and again, I've been sharing it directly here from my computer, and we've all seen already that there are some limitations with that. I've learned already about both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. So now I'm ready to move on and deploy my custom app to make sure that everybody in my team can benefit from all these great features. So I've got FileMaker Server already installed. So how do I get my custom app there? It's very easy. Go up into FileMaker Pro. I've got a button over here that says Share. I can choose the option over here that says Upload to FileMaker Server. FileMaker Pro needs to close the file. I'll choose here my server, put in my credentials for FileMaker Server, and click the Upload button. So what FileMaker Pro is doing is making a copy of my file, sending it over the wire to FileMaker Server, and FileMaker Server has now made it available to everybody in my team. So what I'm seeing here right now is not my local file. It's actually the hosted version of this file. It lives on my server. Matter of fact, I don't need this file I have here on my desktop anymore. I can, if something were to happen to it completely by accident, I assure you, I don't have to worry about it. That my copy of my custom app lives now on my server, is being securely guarded, even being backed up on a daily and a monthly basis. And now I can access it from any device I want to. Mac, Windows, iPhone, iPad, and even web browser. Actually, let me show you what that looks like. Bring up here my iPad. Access my server. And there we go. So this is on an iPad. This is on my desktop. What about the web browser? I promise you I was going to show you that. I'm just going to enable here. I'll make a web direct technology on this file. And let's have a quick look. Let's bring up here a web browser. I'll direct it here to my server. There it is. Here's my custom app being deployed and accessed from all these different devices using all these different technologies. And here, FileMaker Web Direct is amazing technology. What we're seeing here is my web browser. And a lot of people always ask me, well, Ronnie, well, how do you develop here for the web browser? How do you make these custom interactive web applications? Well, the beauty of it is that you don't have to know anything about web programming at all. Everything is done completely visually from FileMaker Pro. Let me show you really quick what I mean. I'm going to go back here to FileMaker Pro. I'm going to click here the Edit Layout button. It's going to take me into the layout mode in FileMaker Pro. I'm going to make a quick change, something that we can notice. I'm just going to move this around over here. We'll do something, make it really ugly. There, that looks good. That looks really good and ugly. And I'm just going to save the changes over here. I want you to see what happens over here in the web browser. I didn't have to do any refreshes or anything like that. It automatically changed right then and there. And everywhere, that change automatically just propagated. And even on the web browser. No HTML, no JavaScript. I didn't have to learn anything like that. Everything was done completely visual, and I got a fully interactive web application. So no matter where my team is, no matter what device you're using, they will always have access to the most up-to-date version of our information and the most up-to-date version of our app as well. So I don't have to redeploy, reinstall anything. Everybody's always on the latest version. Now, what about FileMaker Cloud? Well, FileMaker Cloud is the same thing. So let's just say that I already uploaded here my solution here to FileMaker Cloud. Now, the uploading process is exactly the same as in FileMaker Server. So I'll choose the Share button on from the menu bar and upload to FileMaker Server. The only difference is in FileMaker Cloud, let's say we've uploaded the customer's custom app over here like we did in FileMaker Server. The only difference is it's not open yet. And the reason is FileMaker Cloud is extremely secure, and it requires that encryption be turned on for every single custom app that's being hosted. So I have to come in here and open and give it an encryption password. So we'll go ahead and do that. And if I want to, if I don't want to have to retype that password, I can click here to make it save the password. And just click OK. And now that custom app is available for anybody to access from whatever device they want. So as easy as that, I've got all of my, everybody on my team is accessing our solution from all of these different devices. Using either FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud, they both give us all these amazing benefits to very quickly and very easily deploy our solution. So let's get back over here. So I'm still designing and building our custom apps using FileMaker Pro or FileMaker Pro Advanced on my desktop computer, either on a Mac or on a Windows computer. But now I've learned I can deploy and manage these solutions using FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud and make it available to run on any such devices that I want, either from iPhones and iPads using the FileMaker Go native app I can get from the App Store. My team can also use Mac or Windows desktop computers and laptops using FileMaker Pro to access our custom app. Or they can access from a web browser from pretty much any platform they want using the amazing FileMaker Web Direct technology again, part of FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. And all this just makes it very easy for me to manage. All information is secure, it's protected with automated backup, it's scaled and grows with our organization, and once again, we can access from pretty much any device that we want. So with all these wonderful benefits, we have a wonderful question. Well, which one should I choose, right? Which one is right for our organization, FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud? So we've seen a lot of the great benefits that both of them have, but there are some differences among the two. So let's talk about how we can decide which one is right for our particular organization. Well, let's start first on the hosting part. With FileMaker Cloud, the hosting, all the stored information is being stored on Amazon Web Services. So it's being stored in the cloud. So that's being taken care of completely for us. On FileMaker Server, as we said earlier, we choose the computer, and it's usually going to be on a computer on-premise. We choose exactly where there is. So there's pros and cons in this situation. If my organization has policies that does not allow me to store information outside of our building in the cloud, then probably FileMaker Server is a better option. Other than that, probably a really wonderful choice would be to take care and take advantage of FileMaker Cloud and all these wonderful benefits of using the cloud infrastructure. What about cost? Well, because FileMaker Cloud really is running on the AWS infrastructure, I don't have to purchase anything. I do have to pay, however, for the compute that's being used every month. So there's no upfront cost, but I'm leveraging the amazing cloud infrastructure that's in place there. Now with FileMaker Server, because it's on-premise and using to be on a computer that I choose, that we do have to purchase hardware most of the time. So we might have already hardware there in the organization that we might be able to utilize. Maybe we have infrastructure set up for that already. So FileMaker Server might make more sense in that situation. But if we don't want to purchase anything and bypass the whole purchase process and maintaining of the hardware, then FileMaker Cloud might be a great option for you. What about growing? So scalability with regards here to hardware as well, there's some differences, right? With FileMaker Server, if I want to grow or if we want to scale back, it's really kind of hard because I would have to purchase additional hardware or remove hardware. That does make a lot of sense too. With the cloud, though, we do have the flexibility of very easily adding or subtracting capability onto our infrastructure there. So there's a great flexibility there, although that does come at a cost because it is on a monthly basis. We have to pay a subscription. Maintenance is also an interesting point here, the difference between FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Because FileMaker Server is running on our own hardware and we're taking care of it, so we have full control of all the operating system and software updates. We do have to schedule them, and we may have to take the systems offline momentarily to do so, but we do have control over them. In FileMaker Cloud, however, most of the updates, software, and patches are done pretty much automatically. So you don't have to worry about them, which is wonderful, but you also kind of lose a little bit of that control aspect there. What about IT impact? Well, with FileMaker Server, we do have to have people around there who can actually take care of all the administrative tasks. So managing a server sometimes might require some additional knowledge and expertise. FileMaker Cloud made it pretty easy, as you saw earlier, to take care of the managing process there. Once it's set up, it pretty much runs on its own. Internet connection is also a factor to consider when choosing between FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. And FileMaker Server, because the software is running on our own hardware, usually on-premise, accessing it is going to be via our own private network, and connection is pretty much going to be local. So internet connectivity really is not that big of an issue. FileMaker Cloud, on the other hand, all of our connection, all of our access will be over the internet. So not only do we need a really good, a good data connection, stable one, but our mileage may vary depending on the speed of our internet connection. So these are just a few of the things that we might want to consider when choosing between FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Both provide amazing benefits, but they are also a little different. If you want a lot more information about the differences between FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud, you can follow. Here we have a page on our website that compares both products, gives you all the benefits and the differences between the two, and help you choose which one is right for your particular situation. All right, so let's quickly talk about what you would need in order to deploy FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud. First, in FileMaker Server, there are hardware requirements. At a minimum, for FileMaker Server, it does require a dual-core CPU with 4 GB of RAM. However, we do recommend a 4-core CPU with at least 8 GB of RAM, and in both situations, at least 80 GB of storage with at least 10 GB of free space at any given time. Operating system requirements for FileMaker Server are as follows. It can be installed on either Windows or Mac environments. On the Mac, we support Mac OS Sierra 10.12 and OS X El Capitan 10.11. On the Windows side, support Windows Server 2008, Windows Server 2012, and Windows Server 2016 with in these editions. For FileMaker Cloud, infrastructure-wise, it does require at least a T2 small instance type on AWS. However, we do recommend a T2 medium at least. That includes two CPUs and 4 GB of RAM. Now, you might require a bigger instance, a bigger type, depending on your particular needs. But these at least are the minimum and recommended types for you to start out with. FileMaker Community is an amazing place. It's a portal on our website, community.filemaker.com. It has a huge array of information. It also is a great place for you to network with other FileMaker users around the world. You can collaborate with other people, share your own experiences, and ask questions. The FileMaker community is amazing, and they love sharing information with one another. And you find a lot of great resources there, completely free. There's a lot of technical briefs and how-to articles. You can download sample files. We also post product news and updates there. It's just really, really an amazing place. And again, access to FileMaker community is completely free. There is, however, a paid version of it that we call the FileMaker Developer Subscription, and it has really a lot of great additional benefits to it. One of my favorites is that you get a FileMaker Server Developer license with the FileMaker Developer Subscription. They're really great value, and it's a great way to get started testing and developing using FileMaker Server as the center of your deployment. Some additional resources here for you. If you want to know a lot more about FileMaker Server, in our product section, go to FileMaker Server, FileMaker Cloud as well, and there's a lot of great information there. We've got a lot more information about the details and technology behind each one of those. We've got documentation and getting started guides, and also get information on how to get trial versions, and also how to buy both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Also here, we've got in the learning section in webinars, we've got a lot more webinars just like this one. We've got pre-recorded versions of this and other webinars there for you to look at. Everything from the very basic to the advanced topics are there. And we also got training resources there. And training section, there is a lot of information. We've got custom app success guides, there's white papers. If you want to take an in-person FileMaker course offered by a professional trainer, for example, give you a way to find a local trainer for you as well. Well, with this, I'll conclude our FileMaker webinar for today. You can watch a pre-recorded version of this and other webinars by going to filemaker.com/learning/webinars. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a great rest of the day.